All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how Esau in his pride actually believes that the world is going to be completely finished if he's not in control anymore, if he's not in charge anymore, right? And this is what he tells himself in his mind, man, right? And he actually thinks as though like when all of his riches and his glory, if they was to fall, that the world would fall and that the world would mourn him if he's no longer around, man, and that everyone's going to be saddened by him not being home more. And this lesson is going to be just to show that that's not true. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 30, the poor man is honored for his skill and the rich man is honored for his riches. The only reason why anyone in this world treats Esau with any kind of respect is for the hope of getting some money from him. It's not because he's a likable person. It's not because he's got good ideas. It's because he threatens people with the sword, right? It's because of how they fear him or how they desire to try and get rich from him, from doing business with him. If they could do business and get the same amount of wealth dealing with us, the Israelites, right, they would deal with us instead of dealing with Esau, right? But instead, because they can't, they've said, you know what, forget these Israelites. We don't care how much you're oppressing them. We know the situation of what you're doing to these people, but they ain't our nation anyway. So we're going to just make money. You know what I mean? That's what they've all agreed to do to us, man, at the highest level. And it's trickled down through the lowest levels. Verse 31, he that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And that's talking about us. Where we get honor in this world right now when we're the lowest of all nations. And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? Right? This, like, Esau is not going to be honored in his poverty state because he ain't even honorable now. He's not even likable now. You know what I mean? People can't even, people have to have a have to shower for about an hour after interaction with Esau, man. Literally and spiritually in this world, man. With some of the wicked ass stuff that Esau had people doing out here to get wealth. People don't like Esau really in this world, man. When Esau falls, they ain't gonna be like, oh wow, they're not gonna be rallying their troops to try and save him. They're not gonna be. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3, and it shall come to pass in a day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, which is what Esau brings sorrow to the Israelites, man. And he's brought fear to them, right? And from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. All the brothers out there catching hell, man, at the hands of these damn devils, right? Mental torment, right? A whole bunch of stuff, man. Scoffers, spiritual warfare, spiritual wickedness in high places, all the things that these people do, antagonistic weaklings that want to try and make brothers get carnal, right? Passive aggressive devils, right? Directly aggressive devils, all kind of stuff, man. From thy fear and from thine hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased, and the golden city is gonna literally cease, man. Babylon the Great is that, which is the image or the like fulfillment of Esau's pride, man. The way how Esau is, you can sum it up by looking at America. If you want to know what Edomite's mindset is, just look at America, and that's their mind, man. The main thing that they glorify in the land of America is the sword. 700 billion a year spent on the sword, man. And that's gonna continually keep going up. Full of pride. Every single nation that goes to America ends up being the worst version of every single nation ends up being shown in America, man. Right? The worst Israelites are in America. You ain't gonna see an Israelite more bugged out than you're gonna see them in America. If an Israelite that was born in the UK goes over to America and starts dabbling in the ways of that place, he's gonna become more bugged out from being there. And when he leaves that place, or when she leaves that place, there'll be more righteous in their mind. The same thing with how if a brother comes from the US, right, from Babylon the Great, outside of there, he's gonna be like, man, it's different. The air is gonna even smell different, man. Like even some places in the UK itself, when you move to a different city and that, it's a completely different spirit, man. If you just travel to a different city one of the times, man, If you travel from the Midlands, for example, into London, it's completely different, man. The first time I ended up in that city, in London, I had a cough continually for like 4 months straight, man. I just had a cough all the time because of the pollution that was there, man. I just continually had a cough all the time, continually from the moment that I went in there for 4 months straight, man. I just had a cough all the time. But anyway, verse 5, Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people. So it's not only us that Esau did this to, it's everyone, right? He who smote the people in wrath, but it's the only people that Yahweh cares about that he did it to, the Israelites, man. Because all these nations really just bow down to whoever's winning anyway, really, man. And whenever they've been in power, they've still always came to the Israelites for help anyway. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. So no one ain't gonna be like, man, allow Esau. They ain't gonna be like, nah, allow him, man. He's all right, man. There's some good. No, they're not gonna be like, man, can I have a go? But Esau thinks in his mind that when he loses all the ability to make men rich and to make men poor like he has now in the world, that people are going to want to still do it. Like, really think about it, man. If people didn't have to go to Esau for the want of all things and wasn't scared that he was going to blow their country up, destroy them and come at them with guns, what would be the need for anyone to talk to Esau? Really think about that. What would be the need for them to talk to him? What are they going to talk to him about? Like, just look at how weird these Edomites are. Really think about it. Who's going to want to talk to them, man? They're telling them, get away, man. Go away, man. Right? When he really loses it all, what is going to be the need for any of these people to talk to him? They're not going to have a need. Oh, hi, Andy. You okay, mate? And they ain't going to say anything like that. There's not going to be a need to interact with him. He's going to have lost his ability to make men rich, to make men poor, to destroy people's lands, to covet fields and take them by violence, right? He's going to lose his ability to do spells and witchcraft. He's going to lose his ability to influence people into sinning. He's going to lose his power in general. He's going to lose his blessing to use the sword. The Israelites are going to take all the weapons of war and destroy them. And Esau's going to have eyes watching him all the time for 1,000 years of his captivity. And he's never going to be able to do nothing wicked no more. He's going to try. But every time he tries, he's going to get judged for that whole 1,000 years. And then he's going to be destroyed. He ain't going to have the ability to do none of the stuff that he's doing now, man. He's going to be done out, man. And no one's going to care. No one's going to help them. But this is something that they actually don't realize, man. They're going to know when they see Yahweh Shai, that man, he really is like a demon. They're going to know it, man. They're going to look at Yahweh Shai, and then they're going to look at how Yahweh Shai has changed the rest of the nation of Israel, and be like, man, these are the people that God's chosen. Surely God's in them, and they ain't no else. They ain't no other God. And no matter how many times Esau tries to come and influence from that point on, it's never going to work again. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Everyone's going to be happy. Yea, the fair trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Like, everyone's going to be happy that these demons, man, are cast down, man. There ain't going to be no more serpent whispers from these devils, man. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from the thrones all the kings of the. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, and they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? How are you in the position that we used to be in? How are you now getting jacked up, man? How are you? Why are you in the same space as what we're in? You know what I mean? He's just gonna know, and he's gonna feel all the things that the children of Israel went through, man. And he's gonna feel the things that the other nations have felt too, man. Tears, widowhood, all that, man. But them in their pride, when they're at the top right now, they forgot about that, man. They forgot the latter end of it all. They thought, man, every time they got scared that they could lose and that their plans were not going to come, they said, you know what? Let's sharpen the sword a bit more. Since we're scared about this and that and this and this and that and this, you know what? Let's sharpen the sword a bit more. You know what I mean? Let's take the whetting stone and sharpen our sword a bit more. We need more bombs. We need more guns. We need guns that can shoot through brick walls. You know what I mean? We need more aircraft, more warfare, missiles that can shoot even further. We need more of that. Forget about trying to turn our way, ameliorate our ways and be righteous. Let's just sharpen the sword more. That's what they always did, man. They said, let our sword, right, let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble has been found nothing worth, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, man. Right? They've said, let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth, man. That's what they've tried to make it be about, whether they can kill something or not. You know what I mean? Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave. All that pride, man. That stupid smirk that they have on their face all the time, man. That every brother knows what I'm talking about out here. We all know that smirk that they have on their face. Like they've just got done doing a wickedness. And they're like Jupiter's delight of, oh man, I wonder if he knows. Yeah, we do know, man. We know what you're up to, man. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, meaning that they're going to be dead, man. In every sense of the word, man. Spiritually first. They ain't the spirit for them to be doing all the wickedness that they can get away with now. Is going to be gone, man. How art thou fallen from heaven, O light bearer, O Lucifer, man? How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? How have you lost your ability to deceive the earth, Esau? And once you lose that ability, you're never getting it back, man. You ain't going to be doing no world summits trying to tell people how the order of the earth's going to go. You ain't going to be able to lock down the earth, rinse out everyone's financials, and tell them, put this mask on your face, man. Because I said so, while you're throwing parties. Do you know what I mean? While you're throwing parties, spinning girl around in red dresses, doing ballroom dancing, laughing, sitting as close as you want, as cozy as you want to your people that you want to sit around by. But you're telling everyone else they can't go and see their nan that they ain't seen. You know what I mean? And they got to stay in the house. And if they do come out for a walk, that better be the first and last one for the day. Following people around with drones, you know what I mean? Boarding off, putting up blockades, telling people you can't come around. Where you from? Oh, this is too far, go home. You ain't going to have the power to do that, man. You're going to have lost your power to weaken the nations in the hope of strengthening yourself, man. So you could steal the Israelites' blessing, and you're not going to have it, man, anyway. All this stuff you're doing, it's not going to cause you to get the blessing. It's just been your path and journey directly controlling you and making you be worthy of Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18, man. Every single work you've ever did from the foundation of you being a nation since the time you was in Rebecca's womb, man. Our foremother and your foremother, man. Right? Since she was in the womb, and our forefather Jacob was fighting your forefather Esau, everything you've did from the moment that you came out of that womb was all leading you up to be blessed, blessed and cursed with a sword, right? So you can get that Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18 treatment, man. And in that time when you're in your captivity, they're going to know this. That's what they're going to know, brothers, man. They're going to know that in that time, man, all of this. So you're telling me that when we had these Israelites in the Atlantic slave trade, that God knew he was going to do this to us? And they're going to be like, yeah, he knew. Yeah, that is why he did it, man. Volker Malone's going to be there. So you're telling me that when I was studying the One West, that I was wrong? You know what I mean? They're going to know, man. All the scoffers, all the people that threw things out the windows when brothers were teaching down the bottom floor, outside where they work and all that, all the people, you know what I mean? They're going to know, man. Watch, man. They're going to know, man. And it doesn't matter how many Israelites you get able to deceive and get to sell out. You ain't going to get the elect of the nation of Israel to sell out, man. They ain't going to sell out, man. Whoever those people are, that's going to be shown completely when all hell breaks loose, man. You ain't going to be able to get them. They're going to hate their lives unto death, man. Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into the heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also in the mount of the congregation. I will sit in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, and you're not going to be like the Most High, man. You Edomites could never be like Yahweh, ever in your life. Even the nation that he loves, that he's going to make be as close as it's possible. You know what I mean? Yahweh Shai is an Israelite, right? And he's as close as it is to be to possibly look or be like Yahweh. But even he's not Yahweh, because Yahweh knows when the day of his wrath is. Yahweh Shai don't know though. And because Yahweh and because Yahweh only knows the time of his wrath, you Edomites don't know the time that you're going to be getting judged, because you're the main target of the wrath. You Edomites are the main target of the wrath, man. You're destroying the earth that Yahweh made. You're the only creation that he's made that he wants to get rid of forever. How about that for some news for you all, man? Of all the creations that Yahweh ever made, you're the only one that he's made with the plans of getting rid of it eventually, to never exist anymore, man. Verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? They're not going to be saying, oh, let's help him. Come, that's Andy. No, man. They're not going to care. They're going to be just like how when people see us catching hell in Esau's world now, and they're like, I know that's fucked up, but rather them than me, and bounce. You know what I mean? Just like how people do that now to us, that's how they're going to do you Edomites, man. They're like, yeah, that is messed up what's happening to them, but sure, I don't want to catch a ricochet off that. and they're gonna go about their business, man. Just like how people do in this world, when they might see a Jake that didn't do nothing wrong, right? He's literally actually innocent, getting hemmed up by the police, and they were walking by and they're like, oh man, that's awful. I'm glad I'm not black. I'm glad I'm not a Mexican. I'm glad I'm not a Native American. Whew, whew. And they just keep it moving, man, and run away. Quick, wind up the windows and lock the doors. Drive their car off, man, and they don't business. That's how people are gonna do Esau in the kingdom of heaven, man. They're gonna be trying their best to keep the laws of Yahweh, and Esau is gonna still be as rebellious as he is and getting jacked up every time he tries it, man. And none of the nations that Esau has now got control over through spiritual wickedness, they ain't gonna care. They ain't gonna be trying to help him. They ain't gonna try and help him. But he thinks in his pride that they're gonna care. Verse 16 again, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners? Esau don't help nothing around here, man. Everything he does, every work he does, ultimately is to destroy you later. Esau will help you for 20 years, but that 21st year, it's over for you. You know what I mean? That 21st year, that's when he had the trajectory. He was like, okay, on that 21st year though, it's over. And that's why there's so many people in this world, man, that their 10-year plan, their 5-year plan, their 20-year plan, their 20, 30-year plan. You know what I mean? They plan to have children on this date. They got them. There's several people in this world that have had it like that, man. But Esau has allowed them to get away with that for a time, because Yahweh allowed him to allow them to have that. You know what I mean? But then Esau's plan is to give everyone the MOTB. But that's also Yahweh's plan, to make certain people get the MOTB, because there's certain people that Yahweh wants to be in that lake of fire, man. And Esau don't know this, just like how Pharaoh didn't know. Pharaoh didn't know that the promise that Abraham had been told, that his descendants are going to be for 400 years in captivity in a place. Pharaoh didn't know nothing about that. The Pharaoh that met Joseph didn't know. The Pharaoh that knew not Joseph, he didn't know. And any Pharaoh after that, they didn't know about that. But Yahweh knew though. Moses knew. Abraham knew. right? He knew. And then it was fulfilled, man. It happened. Just like how the things now are going to happen, man. Verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. And the kingdom of the Israelites is going to do the complete opposite. The kingdom of the Israelites is going to make the land of Israel starting off be like the Garden of Eden. It says that in the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, man. So if you understand that, that should mean that the land of Israel, if the children of Israel are really back there, should be the most beautiful land on the earth. Can you say that about the land of Israel right now? No, you can't. You can't say that about that place, man. And destroy the cities thereof, that open not the house of the prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. Eventually, all the other nations are going to get to live on this earth that the Israelites are going to be ruling, because Yahweh made the world for their sakes, right? Yahweh made the earth for the Israelites' sake, man. Even the moon and the sun that he used to light the earth through day and night time, right? He said, if you can destroy that and search out that, then I'll get rid of the Israelites. So from the book of Genesis, the Israelites was in mind. If you understand the Jeremiah 31, verse 35 to verse 37, then you understand that the world was made for the sakes of the Israelites. But then you understand that when you read in the book of Genesis, and it's going into the creation of these lights that are going to lighten the earth, the Israelites was in mind in that time, man. Even from then, you've got people that want to say the Israelites ain't still the chosen. It's ridiculous. I want to try and talk about all this spiritual Israel stuff, right? But then can an Israelite be spiritually Israel? And the moment you say yes to that, then what is the need? What that whole doctrine of Gentiles goes right down the window, don't it? Because what would be the need for Gentiles acting like spiritual Israel when you can have literal Israelites also being spiritual Israel, and Israelite acting like what Israelites supposed to act like? And that's why they've made that lying doctrine anyway, man. That spiritual Israel thing is not real, man. It don't exist. There's not no verse for that. That's a lie. Verse 18 again. All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house, right? All the nations, but there's going to be a certain nation that ain't going to be allowed to lie in no glory, man. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, right? In the kingdom of heaven, all the heathen nations, if they keep the laws of God, nothing's going to happen to them. If they don't keep them, then something's going to happen to them, right? It's as simple as that. If they sin, they receive judgment for sin. If they don't sin, there'll be no judgment. Whereas Esau in this world will harm people even when they're keeping the ways that he tells them to keep. In fact, keeping the ways that Esau tells you to keep and doing the things that Esau actually tells you to do are destructive in itself. It's actually destructive in itself, just keeping them ways anyway, even if he wasn't to do anything to you, additional on top of that. He just teaches a destructive way anyway. But that verse 19, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. They're never gonna get a chance to so-called fake their fake version of repentance, man. Right? Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. And this scripture that I'm about to read now, I ain't read this one for ages, man. Verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. They're not going to get the chance to come with no, oh, we were sorry, Jacob. You know what I mean? They're not going to get the chance to come with none of that, man. They'll say it, but they're not going to get no chance to, they'll never do it anyway. Esau will never repent, man. Esau will never ever be sorry for the things that he's did to the children of Israel. He's always going to have that envy and that thing in him that he thinks he deserves the birthright, man. He's never going to understand that it was always the Israelites' birthright anyway. And he's never going to, Esau could literally go through 1,000 years captivity right now, right? And find and look back and be like, man, even when the world believed we were the Israelites, so anyway, and we had them all fooled, we still didn't keep the things. We still didn't do it the way God said anyway. So we may as well just stop trying. He'd still be envious and still be like, nah, if we get a chance, we're going to try again. You know what I mean? He'd still keep trying it, man. He's just like that. That's the kind of person that he is, man. And that's why no one's going to care when they're done. No one's going to care when they're not here no more, man. Initially, they're going to mourn for Babylon the Great because of money, because of financials. But they're not going to care for the people. They're not going to. And let me end the lesson on the way I started the lesson, in fact. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 31. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? And that's what these Edomites have got ready to look forward to, man. Shalom.